Well, welcome back everyone to another NRG on the Amstrad CPC, and this is Loriciel's Tennis Cup. To end off the tennis season on the Novabug channel for 2017 is this, a rather neat Amstrad tennis simulation game. Pretty nice Mode 1 graphics there. Not bad looking. Very closely associated with Tennis Cup 2 on the Amstrad GX4000, one of the few games on the GX4000. But they are two different games. They share one thing, which is very obvious, and which I'll get into. Options, not many here, but we can choose different style of court. So we got, and you can see it changes the colour scheme. It's drawn in Mode 1 graphics, so high resolution, and changes the colour scheme. So we're going to go for clay, so it gives you this sort of brown, reddy, pinky colour scheme with a bit of orange in there as well. Obviously, if you go for grass, you've got some greens in there, and you go for cement hard court, you get concrete colours and greys and stuff, and it kind of reminiscent of a Commodore 64. Anyway, Novabug is my name. You can customise your player just as you can on the Tennis Cup 2, the GX4000 cartridge version, and that's as far as the options go in this original version. It is indeed. This is why I separate the two games. As some people will claim that Tennis Cup 2 is essentially a port of this game, but I don't think it is. The only thing they do share is a game engine. The game engine is pretty much identical, and maybe, I suppose, maybe the sprite drawings are very, very similar as well. Possibly the same, but with a bit of colour dashed in there too. But there are many differences. Most notably are all the options. In Tennis Cup 2 you've got tournament options, cup options, slam options, Davis Cup, and single screen option as well. In the original Tennis Cup, in this game, you've got the very lovely done, by the way, split screen mode. So you don't get the option to switch that off in this version of the game, which is fine because you're playing on one top. It's great for two-player, really good for two-player, because you've each got a bottom perspective, and anyone knows playing tennis games, it's easier to play in the foreground than not in the on the far ground, as it were. But aside from that, plays pretty much very, very similar to the Tennis Cup 2 on the GX. It's positional based, so you've got. It's got some movement to it. It's got a real nice turn of speed. It's the same criticisms come in to the sequel. The movement is a little bit jumpy, a bit jerky. The animation frame rate is not great. It's not bad, to be honest. It's not bad, but it's not as fluid as it could be. It could be a lot better. But the movement of the ball is quite nice. The scaling is pretty good. The scaling of the ball is pretty impressive. It's even got a shadow as well, which is really nice. A nice camera angle too. Very nice camera angle, and a very good element of challenge. Even if it is, you're only playing single event, exhibition style matches, there is no tournament option, which is a shame. It would benefit from that. But there are all the shots are here. You've got, like I say, positional base. So depending on whatever position you find yourself in on the ball, will perform the kind of shot. And of course, pulling up and down on the stick as you perform the shot does a different kind of shot. So a long shot will be like pushing forward at the same time, and pulling back will create a topspin shot and stuff like that. And the usual stuff when it came to 8-bit tennis games is implemented quite well. Very playable. Tough as nails. It is tricky to get used to it, but like the foibles I have with this are essentially the slight jerky nature of it. Could have been done a little bit smoother. Colour scheme, well, the colour scheme is, I suppose, a little bit garish. This is a clay court. You'd expect it to be this colour, but the pink on the outside, really, and you don't have any sort of tennis furniture around the court either. You don't have like the umpire and the linesman and things like that. No crowd, of course. Now, on Tennis Cup 2, you have all this. You have a crowd, and you have a linesman, and you have, not the linesman, sorry, you have the umpire. And it's got basic sound effects too. It's got, they're okay. They're limited. They're nothing special. If you're going to put a factor on the sounds, it'd be like a 5 out of 10. That's about it, really. The lovely title tune, though. I always love that Loriciel's title tune that starts up on Tennis Cup and Tennis Cup 2. Really nice tune. But aside from that, that's it. But apart from anything else, it's a decent effort. It really is a decent effort. And it's like I've always compared this to the game that sort of came out at the same time by Ubisoft, Pro Tennis Tour, or sometimes known as Great Court. So I always compare the two together. They're very similar in a lot of ways. Whereas one is a little bit more smoother than the other, and it has a few. I mean, the serving system on the Pro Tennis 2 is very different to this. It's a nice serving system. I mean, you know, I haven't got a problem with it. It's but it's pretty directionless. You can't really, you haven't got much control over the direction of the serve much. In Pro Tennis 2, you've got a lot more, and you don't have this kind of sort of haphazard jerkiness of the sprites moving around. And of course, the sprite at the far end of the court, you can't see them much, can you? On one half of the side, you can't. I mean, obviously you can see them when they're close up. It's nice and they're very well detailed. But on the far side, just seems to be this thing sort of flickering around a bit. Not great. So you don't really need to pay attention to that. You just pay attention to the ball. Oh bloody hell, that was a nice shot down the line. But yeah. So unfortunately, it's all exhibition matches. I suppose it could do with a lot of options. I'm guessing the reason why they upgraded this to the GX. Just using the same game engine, but then layering all the plus colours on it and the little sprite smoothing, and then all the untold amounts of different things that they put on Tennis Cup 2, the national anthems and all the game modes, much better, and in full colour, of course. So, and that's why I separate the two games. This, though, on the other hand, very playable, very enjoyable. Not perfect by any means at all. I'm going in for a little bit of a... Ooh! I'm thrashing this guy, by the way. Came in for a lovely little cheeky volley there. No, that was out. Surely, mate, that was out. It was a nice wide serve he did there. He's going for the wide serves. Oh, missed that. Timing's got to be really good on this as well. You've really got to get your timing right. Again, it's not one of those games where, you know, if you press the button before the ball's anywhere near you, then ain't going to suddenly pull out a rescue shot. It doesn't work like that. You've got to be in exactly the right position and press the button at exactly the right time to get that movement going. I mean, I was in the wrong position there, as you can see. Positional based. I hit that ball way too late and subsequently hit it out. Couldn't direct the ball. I mean, you do have a degree of control over the ball when you hit it. Of course, pulling the right direction to aim the ball, as it were, as you strike. All works in the same way. That. Oh, fucking hell. Hit the top of the net cord there. Well, that's out. A little beep there for the out. And of course, you don't have the scoreboard coming up in the background. That's another thing about the Tennis Cup 2. You have this nice scoreboard that keeps track of the score. The score in this just blips up after every point, and then after the game, the scoreboard comes up and just shows you the biz of what the results are. So it is significantly different from its sequel, which is good to see. So that puts to bed the argument. It puts to bed the argument. Tennis Cup 2 is not, and I repeat, not a CPC dump port onto the GX. Its game engine is the same, yes, but that's pretty much where it ends. Sprite design extremely similar, but they must have been redrawn because Tennis Cup 2 is in a different mode. You can find my video on Tennis Cup 2 up in the little doojie what's it in the corner. Juice. Oh, I'm going to finish this off now. Finish this little game off. I've got a one-set match, so just put him down with some nice little coming in. Look, oh, he's muffed that up. This is advantage me. So this is it. Match point, and thank you very much. Game match, Novabug. So there we go. That's the tennis all wrapped up for 2017 on the Novabug channel. And I'll see you next year for some more tennis. If not, I'll see you next time for more videos on the classics. Novabug, out.